Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello and welcome to Hockey Night in Australia. My name is Gordon Goodenough and joined by Eric Brook and Sean O'Connor. We are here to break down all the weekend's action, and we've got a new finals format that's been released that we will be discussing as well. But you can watch us, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I believe we are live on Instagram and LinkedIn as well. Drop a comment, say good day, tell us how you're going. You can watch or listen to us in podcast form through iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as well. We are Hockey Hype Australia. Our website is hockeyhypeaustralia.com.au, and follow us on socials at Hockey Hype Oz. Eric Brook, debut episode, and you are rocking a spectacular jersey tonight, my friend.
Hello, GG. Hello, Sean. Hello, everyone. Yes, I had to raid the cupboard. I wanted something that didn't blend in with the background, and I thought, well, what a time to bring out the old Macquarie Bears jersey that the Bears put all their sponsors on a couple of years ago. It was awesome.
Yeah, nice. And Sean, coming to us live as always from Phillip Ice Skating and Swimming Centre. How are things down your neck of the woods?
Yeah, pretty good. Brave are doing well. Ice hockey's still on, approaching the pinnacle of the season. Love it.
Yeah, we of course Canberra Brave, 11 games without a regulation loss, continued their streak. We will get into that, of course. We've got Courtney Kinniston first in the comments today, and Nathan Graham just supporting your choice of jerseys there, Eric. William Jordan Hayes, g'day William. Phil Taylor.
I'd be worried if Nathan wasn't happy by Eric's choice.
No. Phil Taylor, evening, just finished tea with Miss McGill. Yes, Youngbloods reference, which we were having a bit of a chat in the chat about that today. Tori Diver, g'day Tori. Anthony Russell from Banners on the Wall. Morning, fellas, edging ever closer to the season here, which means it's nearly finals time. All hail the Wombat. Willie Krauser, good evening all. Eric looking good in red. Hi and bye, folks, from Jeffrey Allen Roth. I believe he's in Bali at the moment, so thanks for tuning in from Bali temporarily. GG, is that your lease collection? That's part of my lease collection. I
was going to say it's probably half of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of trauma. There. Question for you, Eric, from Shane Melross. What's the jersey behind you? Is that tell us the story about that one.
That's the tournament jersey from the recent IHA tournament that was actually presented to me by the tournament director, Dawn White. And it's a combination of all the various state league logos and that sort of thing. So it's because they had 4 tournaments at once, they actually did a tournament jersey, and included in that the emergency backup goalies, the e-bugs, wore those if they couldn't wear the team that they were e-bugging for.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Yeah,
I want one in my size though. That's not my size. I won't fit into that.
Well, it's a good background jersey, Eric.
It is.
We will get into the finals format. Interesting coin toss from Jeffrey. Tory Diver, good taste. I've got the same 34 jersey, as long as it's not a 16. Oh no, I'm too late to fight Phil for the first comment. Tristan Metcalf coming in late, but
yeah, very late.
We have a lot of action to go through. Let's go through the results. First of all, we have Abby Richards, our producer, in the background doing exceptional work here. Thank you, Abby. So Saturday, first up, the Bears and Thunder. Bears won 5-3. Good to see Marcus Henderson in goal for the Thunder. The Lightning, 5-4 winners over the Adrenaline, which booked or punched their ticket. Is that the terminology for the AIHL finals? The Mustangs got gutted out a 6-4 win over the Ice Dogs. Late comeback and an empty net goal made it 2 goals to the Mustangs. And then the Brave defeated the Rhinos 7-2. Sunday saw the Melbourne Ice dominate the Sydney Ice Dogs. I think 3 first line shifts, and it was 3-0 to the Ice early on in that one. The North Stars narrowly defeated the Rhinos with a 3-2 win. Lightning pulled out the 2-1 shootout victory over the Adrenaline, and the Bears a bit more comfy 7-2 win over the Perth Thunder. Eric, which result caught your eye from the weekend?
Well, the scores don't necessarily show it, GG, but the Perth Thunder actually had most of the weekend without Leo Bertan. He pulled out during the Saturday game, relieved by Marcus Henderson. And I've got to say that Marcus Henderson did a really, really good job in net on the Saturday. And I was expecting, okay, there was no real reason in terms of form or anything like that, because it was still 1-1 at the time, so it was still a close game. Sometimes goalies come off for an equipment reason, just to adjust their equipment or whatever. And then he didn't come back. And then I'm thinking, has he had a little niggle? He's been doing the majority of the work for the Thunder this season, coming up to finals. So it was probably a good time to bring Henderson in if he just felt that little niggle, and he wasn't back on the Sunday.
Yeah, he made a save, a stretch save earlier on in that power play before Ryan Annesley scored the opener, that he looked, I don't know if something happened during, to make that save, but he did the splits and was kind of took a little bit of time to get up. But, hopefully, I mean, it just makes sense for Perth just to pull him for precautionary reasons. But you saw Marcus Henderson during Tange, and he made a spectacular save, Eric.
It's a shame we don't actually have that one queued up, because it was a fantastic save. It was the final minute of a round robin game between his Western Australia and South Australia. South Australia were down by a goal with a minute remaining, a breakaway opportunity, and Marcus Henderson, he just pulled out this save. It's on the stream via Fox Media Group. And the save that he pulled, it ended up being basically a hybrid double pad stack. He just pulled it out of thin air in the production booth. Anybody in the production booth thought it was a goal, because they didn't give Henderson any chance with the guy on the breakaway. Absolutely saved it. I spoke to him later, and I've never done this with any goalie in the AI this year, to say, hey, mate, how did you make that save? And he says, it was just desperation. It was just something that I had to do, and I just had to try it. So I said, have you practiced that move before? And he says, no. He's only a young guy. He'd be 17. I'd be 16 or 17, I'd be guessing. And so coming up in the AI last week on the Saturday game, he backed up on the Sunday. He did really well. And that save, I remember mentioning in commentary, if that is the last save that guy ever makes in hockey, that's a good one to go out on.
I do have the video. Do we want to watch the video? The Marcus Henderson from Tange save?
Oh, if you've got it.
We're going to check it up.
All right. This is gonna shake up Abby a little bit. I just uploaded it, Abby. What do you reckon? Can we chuck up the Marcus Henderson save from Tange? I've got it as that last video highlight.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. So great to see Marcus Henderson, a good local goalie, popular guy, I think, in the group as well. Sean, which result took your eye from the weekend?
Look, I was very surprised by the ice domination of the Ice Dogs on Sunday, especially with how well the Ice Dogs have been the last month or so. To just go down so quickly, it was a bit of a shock. But but I mean, it's good on the ice for getting the victory. They needed another good uplift, so they've had two big wins to end their season at home. And Yeah, I was very happy with how the Brave performed. I was sad to see the Rhinos lose to the North Stars on the Sunday, but also those two games over in Brisbane between Adelaide and Brisbane. Look, it was gut wrenching to see Adelaide lose on Saturday because I really wanted this to go down to the wire about who was going to get into finals, but they were still both fantastic games that were so close in the end. So you couldn't really ask for more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do have some comments. Good evening to Paul Finesse catching up here. Anthony Russell, that Melbourne Ice Dogs game, Ishida chose team over memes by nixing the goalie fight on Saturday. I think the referees
refs,
were pretty quick to
He was willing.
stop it.
Ashita was
Yeah,
willing.
It was the last.
If the refs weren't there, it was going to happen because
Yeah.
Don Boss was so set on it, and yeah, Sheeta would have been into it as well. But yeah,
I know Michael Clough was super excited, just saying that he's always wanted to call it a goalie fight, to commentate a goalie fight. But yeah, he didn't get the opportunity, and it's smart call from Ishida. Really,
yes,
I believe IHF rules last 10 minutes of a game is for fighting is an automatic one gamer suspension, so would have meant that Ishida would have missed this game against the Bears. So smart call by him and the team.
well, especially as Dawn Boss doesn't have a lot to play for at the moment. So for him, it wouldn't have mattered if he got a one game suspension. Really.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
on that, GJ, it was interesting having a look at the box score after that one to see that both of them actually received 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. They didn't even get 2 minutes for roughing, and Dornbus received the misconduct for crossing the red line.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't really get a roughing call if you don't touch the guy, right? So
as much as they wanted to.
Yeah. Tori Diver says she was in Perth on the weekend, went to Saturday's game. Henderson did a phenomenal job after Bertien was injured during the game. Absolutely.
Who was the goalie who played on Sunday?
Was that Dua?
Dylan Dua, yeah.
Yeah, Dua, yeah. Willie Krause, I'm not changing my support, but you have to admit that the Brave is in hot form. Finals weekend is going to be awesome. Still go Bears. You're nodding there, Sean, as to the Go Bears reference, I'm assuming.
I can't believe it how good form they're suddenly in. Like, they spent so much, like half the season in quite poor form, and then all of a sudden they've worked themselves right into the frame.
Yeah, I think the imports that they've got, maybe not as flashy as you might have expected from the Brave, but man, they've been effective. Like Matt Clark has been phenomenal.
I think
really
Clark's
solid.
made a big difference because he's not only propelled things himself, but he's actually made Cameron Marks play a very different game to what he played last season for the Brave. He's much more adventurous, and that's given the team much better, forward momentum. So it's good.
It's like a Ron Hainsey and Morgan Riley combination that you've got the steady presence of Hainsey, and that allows the other guy to jump up into the play. William Jordan Hayes also missing out on the goalie fight. Courtney Kinniston in response to the Henderson save. That's amazing. Jürgen Druffeldorf. Ice is so hot and cold right now. You never know which team is going to show up until you're well into the first period. It also player travel really affects their roster too. So when they're playing games at home, it's a bit of a different ball game, I was going to say, but ice game.
I think that's with everyone in the league at the moment, right? So like every team this season, because it's such a long regular season, has had to travel with light teams because it just costs so much money for them they can't really afford to travel with 4 lines to the other side of the country or whatever. So yeah, it makes a difference.
Yes. Anthony Russell just says, I've yet to call a goalie fight or a goalie goal, but have seen both with my own eyes, thankfully. Man, that's impressive, Anthony Russell. Nicole Cherie, Toth coming out of the goal was exceptional. Ultimate move. Yeah, he was like 6 meters out of his crease. It's like, what are you doing, buddy? But he pulled it off. He did well. And yeah, Tori Diver just confirming Dylan Dewar as the goalie. Let's have a look at the standings. And surprise, surprise, no movement again.
I think it's been half the season with no movement.
Yeah. So North Stars, if with a regulation or overtime shootout win, they hold their fate in their hands and they can win the conference. The Brave need 2 wins and a Newcastle loss or OT loss because they hold the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker is regulation and overtime wins, not including shootout wins, which the Brave have more of. Lightning in third, of course, securing that third spot. The Adrenaline are fixed in fourth. The Rhinos will get the wooden spoon for the season and the conference, the league and the conference.
It seems really harsh that the Rhinos are going to get the wooden spoon, like, because they've improved so much compared to last season. I guess for me it feels unfair that any of the teams are going to get last, to be fair.
Especially too, Sean, when you consider how close some of those Rhinos games have been.
I know.
A bit of puck luck one way or the other, and it would have been totally different.
And it's the same with Adelaide. They're sitting there on 25 points. They no longer can make finals. But so many of their games have been 1-goal games this season. Unbelievable amount of games they've lost by a single goal.
And then you have a look at Newcastle, who have been past regulation 10 times.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And that is not a great conversion rate in overtime. Both them and Adelaide were so bad when it went to OT or shootout. They lost so often.
Yeah. But top of the conference, does it matter? Does it matter?
I know, that's right. It doesn't matter, right? It's all you're there. But I mean, that's how the North Stars have managed to get so many points. If they lost, they still picked up a point for losing. They only have 7 regulation losses.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it looks in the Rurak. Let's have a look in the Hellyer conference. And we've got the Bears on top, 69 points. Ice second with 57. Thunder third with 50. All those teams are locked in place in the standings. Yeah. The only thing as we said, left in the league to decide is 1 and 2 in Rurak. Mustangs on 43. Ice Dogs on 29. The Mustangs have the potential to do something exceedingly hilarious. If they get 2 wins and Newcastle don't get a point the Brave don't get more than 4 points, the Mustangs, 4th in the conference, would hold the tiebreaker over both of those teams.
And you and your chaos theories.
Right. I just love chaos. I love chaos.
But you know what I love about this as well? The Mustangs, if they don't lose in overtime this weekend, will be the only team to have a perfect overtime record this season.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty decent. Yeah.
I mean, they don't get to make finals, so I'd rather take that over having a perfect record of some sort, but yeah.
And then you consider the Ice. They won, what was it, the first 10 games in the season?
Yeah.
Yeah. First loss against Perth.
I think that article that Tristan put out, was it Tristan? Was a really good article about the last 10 games and the form of everyone. And you just see how much some of these teams that are in finals haven't been in the best of form towards the back end of this season.
Yeah. So even stuff to do with special teams. I think Newcastle, that's the thing that makes Newcastle a scary team, even though their recent form hasn't been as good as some other teams. They've got the best power play in the league, right? So if at finals, if they can get a few power play goals, get some good goaltending from Inouye or Smart, whoever's in net, who knows? It's only one weekend.
I must admit, I think it's very sad that Toth won't be in finals because I would have thought with him and Ishida and Batan there, they would have, we could have had some more shutouts in finals like we did last season.
Yeah. If someone was going to pull a Liam Hughes, you would have put money on Toth as being a potential to do that, right? But they're not in. It's funny, both the another thing, a bit of synchronicity between the Australian Women's Ice Hockey League and the Australian Ice Hockey League. Both teams that won championships the previous season haven't made finals this past season. So the Melbourne Mustangs, who were champions in 2023, they didn't make the 2024 finals, and the Sydney Sirens, who were champions in the 22-23 season, didn't make 23-24 finals.
And both teams had significant player changes compared to the season before.
Yes, and even the Sydney Sirens, like they didn't use imports really this past season. So a focus on local development. So there's lots of different contexts for that.
Yeah.
We will catch up with the comments. Courtney Kinniston, the excitement in this weekend, Adelaide and Mustangs both have a chance to spoil the party for Newcastle and Canberra. Plenty to watch for still in the Rurak this weekend. Adrenaline has smashed it this season, unfortunately missing out. Yeah, I agree. Tanya Valentine. You had a chat with Stu Henley, I believe, Sean, because one thing that we noticed right from the start of the season is Adelaide were exceptionally hard to score against, and that's been a brand of their game. Didn't manage to get the wins as we said, but man, they were playing some really tough hockey to play against.
Yeah, that's right. I think they really focused on basics of hockey and getting the defense right. And they thought if we could do that, we're going to stem having, blowout results, and then we're in with a chance to win. You just got to then get enough firepower to get that over the line. And they probably lacked that at the start of the season. But when Elder finally, sort of really cut into groove, like it provided that. And now also players like Chen and all this, the local firepower, which is now, I think has actually made a big difference towards the end of the season because they've actually started scoring goals. And the McGuinness brothers joining the team and everything like this. The future looks bright for Adelaide.
Yeah. And then Anthony Russell, the Rhinos went from losing games by scores that would make West's Tigers blush to be in virtually every game. Table doesn't tell the story, sadly, but them and Adelaide are great fun. Agree with that. Special teams so important for our teams. Yes, Courtney, North Stars, PK have been really strong too, not just the power play. Yeah, they've got a decent PK. I think, one team that has a surprisingly good penalty kill is the Sydney Ice Dogs. I think they were second in the league or third in the league. So they've got a really good
they just gave away too many.
Yeah. and I think the start of the season they had halfway through the year they had a 9% conversion rate on the power play. It took them about 2/3 of the season to score multiple power play goals in the same game. But they looked a good team at the season end. We'd love to see all 10 teams at finals, but we just can't. So, yeah. Let's have a look at the points leaders. And Eric, there was one member of this group that made a big jump with a 9-point weekend.
There certainly was, JG. I was talking about Lucas Herman living in the shadow of Adam Cadlick. Cadlick didn't make the trip across to Perth, and Herman, he had a great week. He ended up scoring a goal late on Sunday, but before that, he'd scored 9 assists over the weekend against the Thunder.
Yeah, so one of the assists got taken off retrospectively by Esports Desk. So he just has 9 points from last weekend. So
just a lazy 9 points.
Just a lazy 9 points. Not enough to get him in the 3 stars, but enough to get him second in the points leaderboard. So Congratulations to Herman. Mackenzie Caruana still flying the flag for local players with
Yeah, he's
53
back.
points. He's played 24 games this season and has collected a point in each and every one of those games. So
It's pretty good.
congratulations to him. He's having a fantastic season. And then
And I think Grant Toulmin is very close now to having his very first 50-point season too.
Oh yes. So the Ice Dogs do they have a 2-game weekend this week? I think they
Just the one.
Man. Just the one.
Who are they versing?
Mustangs.
Tough, but this could mean that they would have, if he can do it, they could have 2 players in 50 points this season. Because Alex McDonald's already got 52 points, so
yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's how the scoring stands at the moment. There's 1 game left for the Bears. Lucas Herman, if he gets 7 points, could pip his teammate for if he gets 7 points against the Melbourne Ice, he deserves to be the season points leader, I reckon, Lucas Herman.
Yeah.
The Bears.
I mean, he's had a fantastic season. He's had a fantastic season.
Yeah. All right. So we do have confirmation from William Jordan Hayes. Ice Dogs play Rhinos on Saturday and the Ice at Macquarie on Sunday. Yes, I believe.
Oh, Rhinos.
I'm commentating that game on Sunday, so I did think that they were playing the Ice. Yeah, so that should be good fun. But game of the we before we do game of the week, let's go through some highlights from the weekend. We've got a few goals. So Abby, why don't we show the Francis Drolet goal first?
Newcastle regather without much trouble. Dodge, lead pass to Drolet. Drolet, drop back, Taylor, cross ice, shot on net, wide, it bounces in front, and it's loose! And in! Pinball.
Good call from Ben Chalker. Francis Drolet, if you watch his movement, how he kind of cuts across from the left circle right to the front of the goal, just a really smart player, putting himself in those positions. Perfect spot for the rebound.
Yeah, and Annan really tried hard to save that.
Yeah. Hey, how cool was it that the Rhinos announced Oberoi is returning for next season?
Yeah, phenomenal. I actually had a chat to him after the game in Canberra on the weekend too about that as well. He's like super excited to be returning. He loves life on the coast, and it's great for the league. And he's started up his skills courses over there at Arena, and loves spending time teaching kids how to play hockey, and it's just great.
Obi's Goalies. Give it a follow on Instagram. Obi's Goalies. OBEES Goalies on Instagram. Some good content. I saw Emma Moonen on the other week, who's one of the Sydney Sirens goaltenders last season, made her AWIHL debut. So yeah, you'll see some of the future of the sport there with Obi's Goalies. Let's have a look at the Ryan Annesley goal and stick taps to or skate taps to Lucas Herman for the secondary assist and Lander for the primary on this one.
Save again by the Thunder goaltender, and Bertesh pursues it down the ice and can't get it. And back come the Bears. 40 seconds left on this power play. And a beautiful shot pass into the crease. And the captain, Ainsley, he buries it for the lead, 1-0.
There's someone else who thinks he's a soccer player.
Yeah, we saw Grant
soccer skills.
That was pretty good. That was his 150th AIHL point for Ryan Annesley as well. So congrats to him for that.
What a season he's having, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, he has just been absolutely phenomenal for the Bears this season.
Yeah. Leads all defensemen in points scored. Just Mr. Consistent. And if you watch him in games, Eric, Well, what do you see from a guy like Ryan Annesley? You've seen him for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, he's one of these fantastic defensemen. He also had a few weeks off when he was representing Australia in inline as well. So if he had have been here for an extra couple of weeks, who knows what he could have produced. But he seems like in the defensive line, he's just one of these, in case of emergency, just send it to Riser and he'll do the right thing with it. He's got a wicked shot and he's got great hockey vision and great hockey IQ as well.
Yeah. We've got Anthony Russell throwing some shade at you, Sean. It's called football.
I know, but
yeah.
The problem is that I will say football and then I'll get roasted here for saying football. So I just go with soccer.
And Paul Finesse, are they making the pucks harder this season, or am I just getting old? I don't know. Let's just hope it's the pucks getting harder this season, Paul, because otherwise we're all getting old. We're all getting old. Steve Moller, trivia time. The team with the league's highest point scorer in the regular season have won the last 2 Good All Cups. That's it's an interesting stat. So who was top last? Oh, it was Timmins.
Timmins.
Yeah,
he was gunning. He was gunning for the all-time, but he just got a bit shy in the end. And who was it the season before? 2022, Casey Kabara, maybe.
Yeah, gotta be someone on the Brave.
someone on the Brave,
right? Yeah. Yeah, and Willie Krauser is well and truly on the soccer club, and Phil Taylor, stop making yourself the action highlight, Paul. Let's have a look at one more highlight before we move on to the game of the week, and it is a first-time goal scorer. You'll love to see it.
And here's a 2-on-1 break the other way with Ivan Kulishov coming straight off the bench to make it 2-2. Great play by Dalfusen to break that play up at this stage of the game. With Crowder skating 3-on-1 potentially now here for Sydney. Crowder delays, shoot! Oh! And they score! What a play by the Ice Dogs, and just like that, it's a 1-goal game.
Awesome. You gotta
Jerry
love it
Zhao. He doesn't get enough credit for the kind of player he is. He works hard. He's out there late in games with leads for the Ice Dogs. I think he's a really good young player.
And he also scored his first assist in the previous weekend as well, GG. I think that in the game that you called as well. So what I like about that one is that he was in the right spot in front of the net, and then he beat Fledell, which is no easy task in itself. So if you're taking on someone like that to score your first goal in Melbourne, that was fantastic. Well done, Jerry.
Yeah. So good to see him get on the score sheet. It's great seeing when all these youngsters perform in the league. Because we've had quite a number of players this year get their first goals or, first points. It's great.
Still waiting for Hunter Ellen. Come on, Hunter. Clock's ticking.
We do have our game of the week now, which we will reveal now, voted on by the HHA team. And it is that Saturday game between the Lightning and the Adrenaline. The Lightning, the Adrenaline scored the first 2 goals. Then the Lightning scored 5 without reply. I
remember in our Slack chat, immediately the very first thing I saw was Adelaide's up 2-0.
Yeah, and I checked with Tristan because I'm like, I am shocked that the Adrenaline have scored 2 goals in the first period on an away trip, and that was the first time that they've done it this season away from home. So they have scored 2 goals at home before against the Rhinos. But they have not scored 2 goals on the road in the first period until last weekend. That just shows how good Ryland Toth has been, keeping the team in games without getting that, 4 or 5 goal offensive production that other teams have been able to enjoy.
By the way,
sorry,
what do
John.
you think of these grey jerseys that the Lightning put out?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think they look so smart, particularly with the purple, the purple detailing, like the stripe
Maroon,
or the maroon.
You'll get lynched in Queensland if you say that in Queensland, GG. Not purple.
But yeah, I think I think they look really good.
I
I'm
do.
a big fan.
I thought they were a really good jersey. I hope they come back with this jersey next year.
I'd just like
Yeah.
to see the players' names in white to match the number.
Would you be able to see it?
Yeah, I think so. But I like the jersey. I'm not much of a hockey traditionalist when it comes to the away team wearing white. In this case, the home team. But I did really like this grey jersey. I think we need a bit more colour on the away jerseys.
Yes, I agree, Eric. I wholeheartedly think that we should have more color in the league. Period. Like, having white for every away jersey, it's so boring.
Yeah. We do have an update from Steve Moller. Yes, confirming Timmins and Casey Kubara were the last two top point scorers. So the Bears, a pretty good spot with the top two at the moment. The Tanya Valentino was there Saturday. Wow, what a roller coaster. That would have been a good game to be at. The Adelaide Adrenaline had some really good traveling support. So I don't know if you were part of that,
Yeah.
Tanya Valentino. I think you did make a comment earlier.
And the
about
Rhinos had
the
good
Adrenaline.
support down in Canberra too. We had quite a number of Rhino fans sitting a couple rows down below us, and yeah, they were in full voice, making a lot of noise. It was really good to see. They also are a team that do have great colors.
We do have first AIHL point for Tyrone Oxlade on the weekend. Yeah, I think I mentioned this in the Slack chat. I was surprised it was his first point. To be honest, he's been a pretty decent player for the Bears. He's their nomination for Rookie of the Year. So congrats to him. Brody Petrus, PWHL Montreal have the best away jerseys. They are very schmick. I agree. And Tanya Valentine, or Valentine, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yes, Adrenaline fan. We do have one goal from that game, which we will roll. Yes.
Whoever gets there first, everyone trying to get there first, and Adelaide almost took control of it. Instead, Julian Fedor will come out from that turnover, swinging around Kudelka, and backhands it in.
Oh, what a goal, Julian Fedor! Are you kidding me? The
Amazing.
toe drag, forehand, backhand, beats toes.
What? That is unbelievable, that goal. And he had such a good weekend, Fodor. Like, seriously, his best weekend of the season by far for the Lightning. It almost looks like he should be in the Olympics doing the canoe Salem that we've won golds at this year.
Yeah. Was that the Fox sisters?
Like he's carving it up.
Yeah. No, fantastic effort from Fodor. I always see his name and I go Frodo Baggins. I've heard him called Hodor from Game of Thrones as well. So depending on your which way you kind of go nerd wise, it depends on his last name. But geez, he's a good player.
And we've also got the big friendly giant in '87.
Yes, Batu Gendanov. I was hoping that he had his middle name starts with an F because he would be the BFG Batu. Yeah. So I'll check his elite prospects afterwards.
He's another player that I hope sticks around for next season. Like, it'd be really good to have Batu back.
I had a chat with him in Adelaide. I do have an article coming out after my uni assessments are handed in. So apologies, Julie Sugden, for the delay, but I did have a chat with him for an article, and he did indicate that he is very interested in coming back to Brisbane, loves Brisbane as a city. And I think Brisbane's a fantastic city as well. So he's keen. He's fitting awesome. Well. Why not? Yeah. And yes, Paul Finesse, some spicy dangles right there as well.
There's also spicy dangles here too, Paul.
On the hat.
This is Matt Harvey's spicy dangles.
Matt Harvey. Yes. Retiring at the end of this season, Sean, right?
Yeah, so this will actually technically be the second time that he's retired from the Brave this in his career, but yeah, he couldn't stay away before, but I think he feels like it's time. So it'll be sad for Canberra. I guess some renewal is coming to the Canberra team, but hopefully he can go out and have a good final hurrah.
We do have some love for the merch. Paul Finesse, I have the same hat in Yes Spotted, and Nathan Graham, very good merch line. Good shout. But now, without further ado, and with absolutely zero controversy, we have our HHA staff voted team of the week. This is who made our team of the week. We've got
It was
Jake.
a very interesting week this week.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts, Sean.
So there were a lot of very close players to making it into this team. So yeah, to the point where there was at least 2 players on this which had essentially a what do you write? What's a decision just as a tiebreaker to put them in. But yeah, O'Brien, he may have lost both games on the weekend, but his stats were phenomenal this weekend, especially on the Sunday game. And he put up a lot of saves. So he made it in. Honestly, made it in for back-to-back weeks. So he was in there last week. He's back this week. Again, I think you guys would have watched the Bears this weekend. Like, he just leads that team so well, and he just performs every week. It's nice to see Solo back in the team. Nice to see the Ice back playing well. So a good addition to the D line there. And then Fodor, Herman, they basically had phenomenal weeks themselves up front. And yeah, Radcliffe has been the player who's probably really stepped up for the Brave in the forward lines over the last little period. And former Bears players in Canberra at the moment are doing phenomenally good.
There could have been a couple of other players, GG, that could have been featured as well, like the big friendly giant, as we mentioned, Gendanov. He had a great game, picked himself up a couple of goals for the Lightning, especially on the Saturday. He was one. I know there was a bit of love there for Marcus Henderson as well after his AI debut. So there were some really good options. Ryan Annesley accidentally got nominated in 2 positions at once.
He got voted in the forward line as well. On Newcastle's Yule almost made it into the team. Medja from the Lightning also got the same amount of votes as O'Brien, so that was one of the tiebreakers.
Drolet, I think, was there as well. Drolet and Bo Taylor.
Yeah, and Toolman also got votes as well. So it was pretty great.
Yeah,
it's just it seems hard every week now to pick a team of the week.
Yeah, we've got Courtney Kinniston on the Oberoi comment, Sean. It's about the performance and the storyline, not the wins. I think that's important to acknowledge. Yeah. So that's right. That's Courtney making the case.
Well, I don't think Masters would have won goaltender of the year last season if it was based on wins.
So who's backing Oberoi for goalie of the year?
I think he's in with a really good shout. I don't know, because there's also been other great goalie performances this year. Like it's so hard to pick. I reckon that's probably the hardest category to pick this season.
So how do you decide the tiebreakers, Sean? Do you have the AIHL finals deciding commemorative coin that
it's
is
a toss of the coin, isn't it?
Yeah,
it basically is a toss of the coin without an actual coin, but yeah. I usually just put it into a little application that would just spit out an answer.
Yeah. Surely Ishida would be up there. Yeah, for sure. Ishida, Batian for me. Batian has been phenomenal and makes such a difference to the lineup. He up until Saturday, he played every minute of every game since his arrival. So
and Toth and Ishida, and I would say that Dornbos has been phenomenal this season. I would say that Alexei Toivonen has been great since he's back, but he didn't play the entire season. I know Alex is the one who's actually up for the award. Alex has also played very well.
James Upside Downey.
Oh yeah, Downey. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's had a phenomenal season, Downey.
And we do have a note that the Spicy Dangles game will be held this Sunday in honor of Wombat at the Brave Cave. So if you are in Canberra and you want some Spicy Dangles merch, come and see the Brave Cave. Brave Cave. Go to the Brave Cave. How about Forrest? Yeah, Tommy Forrest. He had a good debut, didn't he? And then when Ashita got suspended along with half of the team, he kind of was hung out to dry a little bit. Yeah.
That was
yes.
one of the dark periods for the Ice this season when they went on that blip.
Yeah. But we do have a bit of an announcement about the finals format. We don't have a graphic because it was just up on the way we got notified was someone sent a screenshot in the chat about the schedule format for finals. So evidently they have organized things. So at 2 p.m. on Saturday, we will see the winner. Oh, sorry, we're looking at Friday. Sorry, I was looking a day ahead. So 3 p.m. on
where Friday went.
3 p.m. Friday, it's still there. We've still got it locked in. The two teams are locked in: Brisbane Lightning and Melbourne Ice. So they'll play at 3 p.m. At 7 p.m. on Friday, the Perth Thunder will play the second place team in the Rurak, who will likely be the Canberra Brave at this stage. But it could potentially, if results go their way, it could be Newcastle. Then on the Saturday, that team that plays that 7 p.m. game that wins will have about 16 and a half hours between game finish and puck drop on the Saturday to take on the league leading Sydney Bears. And then at 6 p.m., the winner of that early game between the Lightning and the Ice will play whoever finishes top in the Rurak. So likely Newcastle. And then, of course, on the Sunday at 2 p.m. will be the winner of semi-final 2 against the winner of semi-final 1. If you are a Melbourne Ice fan, you've got to be pretty happy about that draw.
Yeah, I saw quite a few of the fans' comments about being mixed feelings because here quite a number of fans were thinking that they've been marked to lose this year, and yet they somehow come with probably the best draw for finals.
Yeah, because potentially
that's not to discount Brisbane. Brisbane
No.
also has a chance to do the same.
But potentially, if you are the Melbourne Ice, potentially you face the Brisbane Lightning and you face the Newcastle North Stars, and you beat those two teams and you're into the final. If you're a team like, let's say, the Perth Thunder or the Canberra Brave, you have to beat one or the other. And then the Sydney Bears to get into the final on Sunday.
And not to mention that really short turnaround from the Friday to the Saturday game.
Yeah. So the Melbourne Ice and Brisbane Lightning get that early start on the Friday, which is huge. But winning 3 games in a weekend is going to be a tough challenge, and
I think
we haven't seen it happen yet.
Yeah, I think in 2022 we had a 3-day finals weekend, but I can't remember now. But I don't think a team that played on the Friday ended up winning.
No. Because Canberra Brave won the conference and won the league.
That's right. So they started on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the play-in games the week before last year?
Last year they decided to split it into 2 weeks because there were a lot of complaints about the fact that it is so hard to win 3 games in 3 days. It's a heavy workload on the players.
Yeah.
So that's what they did last year. But obviously they decided that didn't work very well for some reason, and they've moved it back to 1 weekend.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about that from a Melbourne Ice fan point of view, not the team for the moment, the fans, a lot of the fans are probably thinking we deserve to be prime time on Friday night, and that of course forgets the fact that shortens the gap between that game and the next game.
Yeah, I guarantee you the team would not have wanted the Friday night. They would have
No,
wanted
definitely not.
that afternoon game.
But the fans on the other hand,
Yeah,
are probably
it's
thinking,
this
how are they going
weird
to get out of it?
situation, yeah, where the fans are like, well, we've got to work. Now we've got to take half a day off work, which I get if you're in Melbourne, like that's something that people are going to have to do. Although saying that, all other fans from other teams are taking a lot more than half a day of work off to go to finals.
Yeah. And Melbourne Ice fans have known for a while that they'll be playing on the Friday. Like, likely, it hasn't been confirmed until literally this past weekend when the Sydney Bears, defeated the Perth Thunder on Saturday. But you could kind of see that coming for the last 3 weeks. So I guess if you should have put your time away form in, or maybe you've got like a nasty cough that's developing on Friday morning.
There's still time. It's not like it's next week. It's not like it's this week. So people have still got time. I'm hoping that we see bumper crowds for finals. I really do. Like last year was phenomenal. It was just such a festival atmosphere with everyone there. So I hope everyone gets a chance to go and has that again, because we'll have all 16 fan bases this time.
We do have confirmation that yes, the North Stars played 3 games over the weekend in 2022, lost to Canberra Brave in the final, of course. Newcastle played 3. Steve Moller, Paul Finesse, not to mention higher risk for injury. Yes. Crap turnaround between games. Yes, from Sharon Della Costa and Courtney Kinniston confirming, yes, you're right, Steve Moller.
And Anthony's also got an interesting one there. 3 p.m. on a Friday. That isn't a public holiday.
Yeah, it's not like 10:30 a.m. like our 4-tier playoffs had here, but that's very early. Yeah.
It's like A-dub games with their 8:30 a.m. starts.
Yeah, although at least the teams here, the men's teams, get the practice at O'Brien. So I know different teams have like some practice time schedule, which in the A-dub they just rock up and play. They don't even get a practice. So
that's got to change.
Yeah, you'd like it to change. I'll never forget that the Pat and Aiden goal versus the Bears and OT to put us in the final. Yes,
I was in anxiety corner for that particular one.
Yeah.
That's right. They had the semifinals on the Friday night. Both of them were on Friday night. One was like 5 o'clock and one was like 8 o'clock or something. And then they had the preliminary final on the Saturday, which were the 2 losers or from the Friday games played. I can't remember. It's something like this. It was like a major semifinal and a minor semifinal. And then, the team that won from the major semi-final on the Friday went straight to the Goodall Cup final on the Sunday, which was Canberra. It was a weird format for us. I don't think we've ever had that format before or again.
But then again, what else do you do? Do you go back to the weekend before as well? That's a thing as well.
I think they should be moving to a 3-weekend final series. Cut some games out of the regular season, make it shorter, go to a 3-weekend final series, and actually have like a conference playoff, a conference final, and then a Goodall Cup final series. Each one of those 3-game series.
Or for GG's chaos theory, top 6. Don't worry about conferences. Top 6.
Even if you did that, you could still make that work too.
Yeah, that's. I do agree with this point. That's a lot of travel for fans, though. Tory Diver being diplomatic.
But you could have a host, right? You could have a designated host for each of those. That will say everyone can either travel or be at home. So you actually get the finals out to more places, more fan groups.
Look, I would love to see some sort of home advantage. Like if you're gonna play a ridiculously long season, like 30 games is a lot, like crammed into this, but it's a lot.
For a non-professional sport, it's heaps.
So I think if you do finish top in the league or conference, or there should be a bit more of a reward for that, and how that looks is tricky when the finals is in the same location year in, year out.
Yeah.
It's a tough balance, because for the league, you want the final in the premier location, which is
Yeah.
O'Brien Icehouse.
And I actually think that if you actually spread it over 3 weekends and you actually had like whoever was the higher of the two ranked teams gets the hosting rights, right? For those first 2 series, then you could still have the destination for the Goodall Cup final, right? So you can actually get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Tory Diver just suggesting having all finals in Newcastle from here on out. Yes. Yes, the horrible home curse. But let's have a look ahead to this weekend's action with our preview. So Saturday, Ice Dogs at Erina, Lightning in Perth for a single game. The Mustangs go to Newcastle on Saturday. The Melbourne Ice visit the Sydney Bears, and the Adelaide Adrenaline visit the Brave Cave on Saturday and Sunday. And then on the other Sunday games, Mustangs go to Erina to play the Rhinos. I believe Phil Taylor is going to be up there for that game as well and taking some photos, the AIHL head of photography. And the Melbourne Ice will complete their double weekend at Macquarie against the Ice Dogs. Which game sticks out to you, Eric?
Well, I have to say the one that I'll be commentating on, GG, the one on Saturday between the Bears and the Ice. But I think it's going to be a fascinating series between also the Lightning and the Thunder on the Saturday, considering that both of those teams will be at finals. Will they be playing against each other? We haven't figured that out yet, but that should be an interesting one. And also, what do we do about first in Rurak?
Yeah.
Yep. Sean, what about you?
That Newcastle Mustangs game is going to be really interesting at basically the same time as the Brave Adelaide game. That will really determine everything. And then if everything, goes to plan for the Brave, then they will have a chance on Sunday to try and play for top spot. But if Newcastle win, it's a moot point. Newcastle will have done enough. So
it's a long way for Brisbane to go for one game against the Thunder, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think any time where you're either traveling to Perth or Perth is traveling over to the East Coast to play one game, that's brutal. What fans are you going to get to go over for one game? Like, if you have 2 games, you could probably justify going over for an away days, once, right? But for one game, you're not going to bother.
Well, I can remember the couple of seasons that I travelled around with the Bears as their social media manager at quite a few years ago now. The Perth road trip is the one that all the imports look forward to, the one that all the local players look forward to. Of course, this was before Brisbane was in the competition and before the Rhinos were back. But that's one trip that they're looking in, that they really look forward to circling. And then, for instance, the Bears last week, Adam Cadlick didn't get to make the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that being away for the Bears was really good for them. We spoke. I know. I mentioned it a few weeks ago on the podcast that the Bears going on an away trip would be really useful for them as a team, as a group. And they looked a lot better. Their cycle game looked fantastic. So away trips can be really good as a group. You're with the team. You're not with family. You're in the hotel together. You can socialize together. You can have team meetings and sort through some stuff. I think road trips are good.
Or if you're Perth, you're playing AOE too. LAN parties.
Yeah, I love it. I did love that.
I could always tell.
Go, Eric.
I could always tell who were the rookies on the Thunder away trips, because they were the ones who were thinking that they were going to work Monday morning off the red eye.
Yeah. I really do hope that the Perth Thunder players get that tournament up and get to raise a bit of money for the Finnish guy.
Ville.
What's his name? Ville.
Tennis Almy. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do for the previews. We do have a couple of final comments. Michael Smith, it's very expensive for teams to play multi-weekend finals games, which I would imagine is why the playing games being played in the same location.
Yeah, it's I do agree with this. I think actually booking the ice time is the hardest thing and the most expensive thing for having finals in a non-set location. Like if you can set it at the very beginning of the season, you can book that fairly easily, and it's not going to cost you an absolute arm and a leg. If you're booking things last minute, it becomes, a lot harder to do in this country.
Brady Petrus, PWHL's a system where the top seed picks their opponent in the playoffs. Wouldn't mind seeing that here. I would watch that if it was live streamed. I would get all the governors in and get us to live stream it.
I feel a bit ripped that we didn't get to see this whole coin toss or whatever they did to pick this. That's what I would have wanted to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they went with a coin toss. Anyway,
or like seed ball, whatever it is that you do, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what they should be doing.
Phil Taylor looking forward to shooting at Arena for their final game of the regular season. 3 stars, Tori. We only put out the post earlier today. Our apologies on that. So we will release that at the end of the week on Friday or something. Or we'll give Newcastle fans plenty of time to vote.
But the rules are different this week.
Are we going to talk about that?
Yes. Yeah. What are the rules? Tell me.
Go, Eric.
Oh, put me under the bus, Sean.
No, I mean, so this week we decided to do something a little different. I know that it's caused a little bit of controversy, but hopefully everyone is okay to have a bit of fun with this and just do something a little different this week. So we've decided to put a rule of just one player per team that you can vote for. So we get a bit more variety. Hopefully the fans are okay with this and get on board and have some fun.
So what if you're a Brave fan and you write Kubara? Is that 3 points? Is that 3 votes?
I mean, 4 at one stage this season, right? We had 4.
It was. We had 4 at one stage.
Yeah. It just stops that kind of,
the team block.
Yeah, the team block where it's like, oh, some guy got 9 points in a weekend and isn't mentioned because he's not the popular kid at school.
We're just going to see how it goes. Like, all of these fan votes, they're always just fun, right?
Yeah, it's funny because we have had some very passionate people in the comments being like, you can't change the rules! You can't change the rules! It's I don't know. Phil Taylor, we don't need no stinking rules. But yes, anyway, it's just a little bit of fun. It's just a little bit of fun. And we do have Anthony Russell, 1 player per team. The entire Hunter region is in uproar. And yes, this is 100% right. I mean, we do get on Newcastle fans, back a bit, but good on them for actually voting. Yeah. Like, honestly, and I think I said this earlier in the year, like, it is a fan vote and you can still vote for your favorite Newcastle player for your 3 votes or whatever. But, just try to spread the love, Newcastle fans and everyone. And Wardlaw, yes, that's another one, Paul Finesse with the Kubara single vote. The fans should be voting. So it is a bit of a balance. I mean, I don't really care about it. Matthew Wiggins, can we vote for John Scott? Yes, it does have a John Scott-esque kind of feel to it, doesn't it? But yeah, any final thoughts, peeps, before we ride off into the sunset or IP address? I don't know what we ride off into, but
look, it should be a good last weekend of the regular season. We've got a lot of games. We've got all 10 teams playing on Saturday, which is we haven't had that too many times this season. So everyone get out, get to the rinks, have a great time, get ready for finals.
It was unusual for me because I actually didn't have any commentary last weekend, just to bounce from game to game to game to game. And, sorry for the team for going back to Twitter days and recounting every goal for you.
Our Slack chat was insane. We had Tristan Metcalf, who was like, I went away for an hour, and he sent a screenshot that has like 100+ message notifications in the Slack chat. Between you and me, Eric, we were spamming the channel pretty hard. But yes, thank you of course, to our quality assurance partners, TTC. If you need any software testing, whatever your needs are, send an email to australia@ttcglobal.com with the code HHA2024 for a great deal, and they're an excellent team there, and we appreciate their support. In the meantime, we are Hockey Hype Australia. You can follow us on the socials at Hockey Hype AUS. That's Hockey Hype Oz, and our website, hockeyhypeaustralia.com.au. You can watch a replay of this on YouTube or on Facebook or LinkedIn. On our socials, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube and social media channels. And you can listen to us in podcast form without the video, just the audio, on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thank you for tuning in. We have some exciting stuff that we have planned for finals. So you will learn a bit more info as we get closer to finals. Thank you for putting up with us. We're looking forward to meeting all of you lovely people in Melbourne. If you're in Melbourne, come say good day. But yes, until then, thank you to our producer, Abby Richards, who's in the background. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still